Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to February 2022. It's been a while since we met. Hope you got a chance to talk to your table mates for a little bit. It's been quite a snowy last week or two, so hopefully you're all dug out. And those of you listening from Florida, that's too bad. You missed all the icicles. Next, Bob Harold and Kurt Church, please come up. Bob's going to do a reflection for us, and Kurt will lead us in the pledge.
Let us pray. Bless us, God, as we gather here today as members of Rotary. We pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our service to fellow citizens and to our community, keeping in mind always the enduring values of life, exerting our efforts in those areas and on those things upon which future generations can build with confidence. Please include a special blessing for the leaders, faculty, and administration in workforce and community services at Owens Community College. May they continue their mission to help those close the skills gap and produce job-ready workers. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir. You're welcome.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Kurt. Appreciate it. Appreciate all you guys do for the club every day. Next, George. George Eistetter. George is not here. Well, does everyone want to stand for the four-way test? Number one, is it the truth? Number two, is it fair to all concerned? Number three, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And number four, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you, everyone. Now you may sit. You can sit as soon as George does. And I would also like to thank Impact Employment Solutions, our February sponsor. And Murph, why don't you stand up since he is our sponsor. And thanks, Murph, for all the stuff you do for our club every day and the foundation work that he's been doing lately. It's been great. Has done a fantastic job. Next, this week we started to move our office out of here Saturday. It's mostly done. I want to thank the volunteers, some of the members of the board that showed up. I probably can't remember them all. Travis, Heather, Matt Atkins, shout them out, I can't remember. So anyway, and they brought donuts too, which I don't eat, but it was wonderful. So other than that, we will be over in the Bell Building at Madison and Erie, is it, I believe. Haven't been in that building for about 40 years when my childhood dentist was there. I hope it's not the same suite. Moving right along, Kelly Trame, please come up, and if you would introduce our speaker. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks, Kelly. Hi, Toledo Rotary. As Northwest Ohio's leader in workforce education and training, Quinton Roberts works with companies and individual students to help close the skills gap and produce job-ready workers, just something that's very important in our community. And Quinton Roberts is the Owens Community College Dean of Workforce and Community Services. Now, prior to working at Owens Community College, Quinton rebuilt the Mott Community Corporate Services division through continuous engagement with companies to understand their services and their workforce needs. Hopefully, we'll hear more about his passion with working with companies and students as they strive to make Owens Community College an indispensable partner to the region's industrial partners. I know personally my daughter is at classes at Owens right now studying to be a physical therapy assistant, and I'm so thankful for what Owens is doing to help prepare her to be another part of our workforce. Finally, Quinton is married to his high school sweetheart, Carissa Roberts, and Quinton and Carissa are proud parents of Cabria, Angelica, and Little Q, and proud grandparents of Omer and Harper. Help us join and welcome Quinton Roberts.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Quinton Roberts, and I'm thrilled to be here with the Toledo Rotary today. One of the parts that of my past that I really embrace has been my time as a Rotarian. At my last stop, I was past president of the Genesee Valley Rotary Club, Paul Harris Award winner, I'm really proud of. And so it's good to be amongst Rotarians. I love the four-way test and what all that Rotary stands for. So, well, today I'm going to talk a little bit about Owens Community College and what we are doing in the community at Workforce and Community Services. Owens is a large institution. A lot of people are familiar with our name, Owens. As Kelly said, her daughter's there. Many of you have had students. Who are our alums here? Who are our Owens alums amongst you? No one wants to admit it? Okay. All right. All your kids are there. All right, 4 kids. All right. Okay, how many have kids that have gone to Owens? All right, okay. You got wise after you didn't go. You said, hey, my kids are going to go. You know, it really is a pleasure to be with Owens under the new leadership of Dr. Dion Somerville, who came in as our president in June. So you all may or may not have had the opportunity to meet her. She's really dynamic and really doing a lot to move us forward. You know, but now's a real critical time in the area of workforce. Now, when we say Owens Workforce and Community Services, the term workforce makes sense. Community services somewhat makes sense, but exactly what all it encompasses necessarily doesn't. And so that's what I'm going to get into a little bit today and really show you how it ties in with the community and really hope, as we say, to bridge that skills gap. And I appreciate, you know, I can't go wrong if we're into prayer. So I sure appreciate that, Bob. All right. Okay. Button. Pressing the right button. Try that one. Okay. Where's the wizard? Am I pressing the right one? Okay. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay. So what I'm going to talk about is just a little bit of who we are, our Dana Advanced Manufacturing Training Center, many of you may have heard of, a very successful apprenticeship program that we have known as RAMP. The Regional Apprenticeship Manufacturing Program that's in our Findlay campus. Truck driving is huge right now. Everyone has probably heard of the trucking, the shortage of truck drivers, and the state has recently released some funding to help students attend truck driving school. So that's exciting. And then talk a little bit about what else is on deck here. So the areas that we have in workforce and community services comprised of our skilled trades and apprenticeships programs, our corporate or customized training, continuing education, and then truck driving. You may have seen some of our those from Workforce and Community Services in the community, but I just want to highlight the directors who work for me. We have Ms. Stephanie Ford. She's our Director of Customized Training. Ms. Jody Nickpour-Cole is our Commercial Driver, CDL Manager. Mr. Levi Good is the Director of our Skilled Trades and Apprenticeships Programs. And Ms. Jamie Wineland is our Director of Continuing Education and Operations. Now, let's see. This is supposed to be a YouTube video. Is this? Will that go? Let's find out. All right. No, I don't think that's not going to go. Okay. Well, I can talk to it. Not a problem. The Dana Advanced Manufacturing Training Center is our 59,000 square foot, $10 million, real state-of-the-art laboratory for advanced manufacturing. You know, I like to say advanced manufacturing is not your grandpa's manufacturing. It's not where you have the dirty floors and the soot everywhere and hot and you know, and just tough working conditions. Advanced manufacturing is where you could almost eat off of the floor because it's so clean. You have robots moving everything around. You have automation that you have artificial intelligence where cars are just moving all around, hooking up to different things that the robots have already placed and then moving them to another part of the plant. Inside of Dana, you see quite a bit of these. Inside of your FCA, Jeep and Chrysler, you see a lot of these automation, and it's growing because that's what's required for productivity. Right now, we are at a point, I think we said 3.9% unemployment. So the unemployment is very low right now. And companies are doing all that they can to grow their workforce. Part of that, though, is some of these potential employees aren't coming back. And so you see automation. It's kind of a double-edged sword. In one way, automation got rid of some jobs, right? But in another way, we need automation to fill in for those people who are no longer there. So it's a real key piece. In our Advanced Manufacturing Training Center, we have a machining laboratory, we have an electrical laboratory, a robotics lab, our mechanical laboratory where we handle our hydraulics and pneumatics, our heating, ventilation, air conditioning, plumbing and pipe fitting, and then our computer-aided design areas. We also have a special partnership and relationship with Haas Machining, in which they have a showroom where they have their latest and greatest large machines and conveyors and 5-axis machines as well. So it's, again, really state-of-the-art machinery. We are always looking to upgrade, and one of the partnerships that we have oftentimes is that we work with companies to obtain donations so that students can work on not just the trainers, but some of the real-world equipment that's out there in the industry. And you know, it's a little bit different when it's not so easy to wire something up. You actually have to get on the floor and you have to do it upside down, as some of the real world machines are. So that's our Dana Advanced Manufacturing Training Center. And this gives a little bit of some of the activities and events we've held there. We moved in October 2020. We've had a master cam, a summer series where instructors from all over the state came to us and spent about 2 weeks with us. We had our grand opening October 6th, and we've had multiple expos and students that have come through there for career fairs. So really an exciting time, and it's a bustling time. And not to mention, every day we have students just taking classes there. So it's really energized the campus in a major way. And the Haas grand opening is coming soon as well. I mentioned the Regional Advanced Manufacturing Partnership that's been launched in Findlay. We're on our third cohort at this point. It used to be known as FAME, which was the Findlay Area Manufacturing, not sure what the E was, but it was the same partnership as now is known as RAMP. They wanted an extra 10 grand to keep the name of FAME, but we said that's okay. We got it from here. So the Regional Apprenticeship Program, though, is really, and it's one that we are going to be growing in Toledo as well, because it's company-driven. And in workforce and community service, continuous engagement with our companies is really what we strive for, to understand the needs and be able to provide the services. But companies tell us what they need. And it's hard to get companies on the same page sometimes. They have to be nudged and prodded, and because everyone has different needs. However, everyone needs individuals and needs good, skilled labor. And so through this RAMP program, there's a selection process where students interview with the various companies that have elected to be part of the consortium. And then the companies select. It's kind of like a dating game. Everybody says, this is who I want, and they say, this is who we'll take. And then we match them up, and the companies hire those individuals. For the next 2 years, those individuals work part-time, at least 20 hours a week, and they go to school really full-time. And at the end of the 2 years, they graduate with their associate's degree, and they have on-the-job training with the company that they're going to be working for the next few years. So it requires an investment from the company because they have to pay the wage, and they pay at least part of the tuition. Many of the employers pick up the full tuition, but it's been very successful. We have about 10 to 12 students per cohort. They graduate with an associate's degree of technical studies. And it's really been a successful program. And it's the one where, companies ask, where are we going to get this skilled labor? The answer is you have to grow your own. That's at least part of it. You have to grow your own, and you have to invest in those individuals that either are already a part of your workforce or bringing in some new blood in order to and invest in them and get the skills where you want them to be in order that they may be productive members of your company. So that's what we found, and it's been very successful for us. And again, we're looking to bring that to Toledo, if not this fall, certainly by next fall. And this gives a little bit more. Now, we're moving into good old truck driving. Boy, I tell you, one thing about Toledo, you can't go anywhere without running into an 18-wheeler, can you? I came from Michigan. I was in Flint, Michigan. And, we had the intersection of I-69 and I-75 there, which is, and it's coming over from Canada. So you had international trucking. So I thought it was big there until I came here. And you can't turn around anywhere without running into a truck. And so our truck driving program is really flourishing at this point. We're running, we're running about 10 classes a year, and they usually have about 10 to 12 students in them. The long pole in the tent, or what holds us from even building more capacity, is in instructors. We need more truck driving instructors, and that's because it's hard. They don't want to come off the road because they're making good money out there on the road, and so to bring them in. But I want to put the pinch on you all that if you know anyone who's a retired trucker, or they're getting up there, or they got those skills, tell them come see me, and I'll put them to work, and we'll train the next generation of truck drivers. And it's such an important skill, and it's one where people can go from really not having many skills at all to a career where you have a living wage in 4 to 6 weeks. And there's really not many other careers where you can have that turnaround that quickly. And so the truck driving companies are longing for students. We've got students, but we need to pump them out at an even greater rate. But the only thing holding us back is those instructors. So tell them, come see us. You know, any Teamsters, anyone who's, like I say, they've got the skill. They're not sure what they can do. Tell them, come see me. I'll take it from there. All right. In Ohio, the #1 most in-demand grad occupation, jobs, over 11,000 jobs. Average annual salary, $71,000. Now, you don't start at $71,000. I always like to tell those students think they come in at the top of the range. It's like, what, you just got here. No, that's not how it works. But if you work hard, these opportunities are there. We have a new law coming in as well called ELDT. ELDT is requiring drivers to attend a state-certified school. So at one point, if you were, I'll just pick on one, Swift Trucking, you could say, look, we're going to train our drivers ourselves, even if they're not state certified. But the state has come down. They said, no, we want all the drivers to go through a state certified program. And so, again, our demand is picking up even more. And we have trucking companies calling us to train their drivers. But, as I said, need more instructors. So what's on deck for workforce and community services? Where are we going? One of the areas that we want to increase is our diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's in our mission statement as far as the college goes. And if you look at the trades in general, they're underrepresented. People of color are underrepresented. Women are underrepresented. And again, these are great opportunities. Once upon a time, I think even when I was coming up in the early 80s, it was, the idea was, these plants aren't going to be here. These aren't good jobs. You don't want to go in there. You need to go to school and get a degree. And for a while, I think we bought into that a little bit too much. And we lost a lot of our skilled workforce because the #1 recruiters of our skilled workforce are when their parents are in the skilled workforce. If your dad or mom are an electrician, guess what? The chances of the kids being an electrician or going into the trades are much, much greater because they understand it. And I always like to say the people who have those nice condos and lodges on the waterfront, they're all skilled trades folks, so they know how to keep that stuff fixed and keep everything running, because every time you go to one, first thing you got to do is work, right? And so that's, it's a great place to go. It's a great wage, a great career, but we have to include everyone, and we need everyone, especially now when the workforce is so tight. Again, we're going to create ramp cohorts in Toledo. Our innovation hub, we have been working with, we signed an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with Bowling Green and with University of Findlay to have what's known as an innovation hub, where we're going to focus on transportation and logistics there, as well as some of the other emerging markets and technologies, such as artificial intelligence, electric vehicles, research and development in those areas. So that MOU was signed by the 3 presidents of our 3 respective colleges in October. And then we're going to constantly and continuously upgrade our equipment. We're working with our partners, for instance, the Toledo Chamber, LISC is another partner, other community-based organizations where there's grants, and everybody the government these days wants to see collaborative efforts, regional collaborations. And so we're always looking to partner with other organizations in Toledo, in the area, that are looking to build, and I guess the term now is build back better, right? So that's what we're looking to do. So that's going to conclude my portion of this presentation. I'd like to open it up to questions.
I'd like to hear your comments on, since they're going to have this huge manufacturing chip operation in Columbus, that's going to be huge. How does that impact, the college, Toledo? Obviously, truck drivers may be taking stuff to the intersection of Turnpike and 75, the Port Authority. Can you comment on that, how that's going to impact you and how you see that going down the pike?
Sure. I mean, that's big news, right? Intel's building a big plant here, and so we are all circling. They kept it secret for a long time, so they didn't let the cat out of the bag early. So we are right now in the process of circling the wagons to understand exactly. Again, we want to be respond to the employer what their needs are. So we want to get to the table and talk to them about what they do need. Now, what do we know? What do we already have in advanced manufacturing that already we think is going to dovetail nicely? I can tell you, one is our mechatronics degree program, where it's a combination of your electronics, your robotics, because in those chips, they're very fine robots that are going to be employed, and what they call your PLCs, programmable logical controllers, which control the robots. And you always have to have people that fix those. So that's going to be one area that we are going to, we believe will be able to dovetail nicely and fit into what they're doing. Also IT. IT is what it's all about there with Intel. And so our information technology programs we expect to grow. We're currently a part of the Ohio Cyber Range Institute, which is a grant program with participating colleges and organizations throughout the state, in which we are building that capacity right now. So those are two areas that I think we'll at least be able to start a conversation with, and then be able to see where it goes from there. Is that it? No one else? All right. Oh, we have one right here. Yes, sir.
Question, because the issue is your pipeline really full, or do you have more capacity? And what do you do with inner city students who have no way to get to Owens Community College? Do you make it easy for them? How do you handle that?
Your first question on pipeline of, what do you mean pipeline?
Well, are you at capacity now?
As far as the college goes?
Yes.
Oh, no, we are regrowing enrollments from pre-COVID areas. So we have, I'd say, at least we're at about 7,500 students between there. We can go to 10 to 12,000 very easily. So that's the capacity we have. In terms of your second question, being able to get students from Toledo across the river, we do have shuttles, but I found that it's really not a matter of as much having the ability to move people. You really have to meet people where they are, especially if they're in an underserved area. And so we have a partnership, for instance, with Cherry Street Mission, where we have a tool and die machining equipment and welding equipment located in the Cherry Street Mission, and we're able to work with Cherry Street Mission, Unisom, Zeph Center to train those individuals who are displaced or underemployed, have barriers. So we're reaching out in a way that we can. Where we can take people on the shuttle buses and have a class, perhaps, for instance, with our ramp programs, we certainly can and will. But I think our president has also expressed that she's really committed to really looking at having a greater presence in Toledo proper.
Thanks, Quinn. Question for you. You mentioned COVID. And we bring back the number of students, but
On that front, where does Owens fall on the nursing front and preparing for the medical field that right now is desperate for more workers and all that? How are you approaching that?
Well, I can tell you that our nursing program, they're kind of like our truck driving program. They can't push out people fast enough, okay? And those, and that's why we also, and I can tell you in workforce and community services, the entry level kind of area is your phlebotomy. That's kind of a step into the medical career field. But our I know we have partnerships with such as ProMedica and Mercy, and where we are able to provide those students, you know, as they come through. But we need to ramp it up more and more and more. And perhaps that's an area of opportunity for us in terms of marketing and recruiting, you know, and I say, you know, one of the things community colleges can be better at is those two things. You know, that's an area. We're not marketers and recruiters by nature, right? I mean, we're educators by nature. And so, you know how you see those commercials at night from those fancy law firms and all, where, I mean, you can't miss them. That's how we need to be at Owens. But we aren't as savvy in that area. So, area of opportunity. Yes, sir.
I'll pause between them. I'm familiar with the training that's taken place at the old Maycomber, Cherry Street Mission, especially the welding aspect. If someone goes through that, does that training apply toward the associate's degree, or is that specific, like a certificate kind of training over at Cherry Street Mission?
That's typically it can. If they decide to take classes and further their education, kind of at our main campus, then we can give them what's known as prior learning credit for that time, so but typically it's non-credit certificate-based training, short-term training to provide those job-ready skills. And we've been pretty successful in finding employment for those individuals as well. So it really is. That's something we're looking to build upon.
Question, Toledo Technology Academy, which is in the old DeVilbiss High School, at the high school level has a tone of what you're doing here. I'm wondering, do many kids come from there up through your program?
I can't give you numbers as to how many come through, but we work hand in hand, really, especially with TPS, with Toledo Technology Academy, and they're going through kind of they're revamping it right now. We have to add, I know I mentioned Levi Good, the director of our skilled trades and apprenticeships. He's our delegate to work with them on the curriculum for the trades that those students will take, so that it will do two things. One, they'll get skills while they're in high school, and they're getting credits, just like the CCP, College Credit Plus, which is really a dual enrollment program, which allows them to obtain college credits while they're in high school, so that when they do graduate from high school, they'll only have 1 year that they have to pay for at Owens before they receive their associate's degree. So we are working hand in hand with TPS on several fronts. It's not just advanced manufacturing, it is healthcare as well, and it is IT. Those are three of the areas that I know we're working on.
Audience, Gary Johnson asks, will there be opportunities for Toledo to have suppliers to do business with Intel?
I'm going to be honest and say that one's a little outside of my ballpark. I hate to punt, but that's really more of an economic development side. I imagine there will. I love small business, and I'm a strong proponent of it. And so I certainly hope that they will. I will tell you that our Dean of Business, Dr. Michael Fall, also wants to really be a part of growing the entrepreneurship ranks and base, so that if there's an opportunity for Owens to help young entrepreneurs or small entrepreneurs, young or old, it doesn't matter, to become a supplier with Intel or anyone else for that matter. You know, I tell you, I'm an Air Force veteran. I just love to see become a supplier with Department of Defense or, you know, a military. Those are good contracts, you know. So there's so much opportunity out here. And right now is really the time. It's a great time in this country to take advantage of it through business, through workforce. While we have our challenges, I just can't highlight our partners such as Regional Growth Partnership enough. You know, in Hancock County, we have raised the bar, because working with those organizations really is what I'll call a force multiplier to help design the roads to help connect people with employers. And that's at that intersection you find Owens Workforce and Community Services. All right. One more? All right.
Will you be working with new companies to this area, such as Peloton, prior to even their building, and is that part of your marketing?
I mentioned the Regional Growth Partnership and Economic Development Partners. We are really looking to work very closely with those new companies. Now, some of them are harder to get into, like Amazon, than others, right? I can't get a call back. If anyone can help me get a return call from Amazon, please let me know. Now, Brad St. Louis is at Peloton. I know his name. He was at our grand opening, and we are looking forward to working with Peloton because they're very close by. They've identified the robots that they're going to take into their plant, and so we're looking really to build a workforce pipeline and help them in that area. So where we can, we certainly will, but there's plenty of opportunity here. And if you all know anyone, any companies that that want to talk about growing their workforce, please have them reach out to me. And if you know anyone who wants to be an instructor, I'm going to put the pinch out again for instructors. I mentioned CDL instructors, but we need all instructors. We need them in nursing. We need them in welding. We need them in business. Right now, there is a tremendous need for instructors. And so I know you all have a vast network of highly trained, highly skilled individuals. Please have them give us a call. It's a very worthwhile endeavor. I taught for 11 years or so, just really before even the first year of COVID. And I just get a thrill out of it, to see the light bulb go on in the mind of students at the community college level, because you're not dealing with the K through 12, so you're dealing with students a little bit more serious too, and that helps a lot. And it really is a very worthwhile venture. So if you know anyone who wants to be an instructor, tell them, let me know, and I'll point them in the right direction. Thank you so much.
I do have one last question for Quinton. Past Rotarian Quinton, Paul Harris fellow Quinton, why is Quinton not a member of Rotary here?
Not yet. I'll say not yet. I'll say that. I think Murph was the one I met at the Toledo Museum of Art. So, not yet.
We'll get on that. Be a great member to have. So, yeah, thank you, Quinton. I have one more thing for you. I would like to present this in our appreciation. A book by one of our past presidents, Clint Mott, called Historical Tales of Toledo. And I think you'll appreciate it. It's got some really good information. And in addition, I know you know about Rotary and polio, so we are going to make a donation to the Polio Plus Fund in your name.
Oh, thank you very much.
So thank you so much.
All right,
Great job. Before I get to Chuck and his stuff, yeah, I got confused today. Since we're back in person and we're doing guests and visiting Rotarians. So I don't know, are there any guests out here? Well, you're a visiting Rotarian. Travis, you want to introduce Dick? Sorry about that, everybody.
Rotarian from Bowling Green. It's actually Dick Rogers, who already raised his hand. So, Dick, glad you could join us.
And I met Dick at Rotary One a couple of weeks ago, and he also said that he has been a member here back when he was in the working world. So, thanks for visiting. Now, we can move on to one of the most important parts of our program, Chuck's stuff.
Never mind. I just finished reading a book called Andy and Don. It's about the making of a friendship, Andy Griffith and Don Knotts, and it's about the classic American TV show called The Andy Griffith Show. It's a good read if you have time and the inclination. This clip is a glimpse into the genius of Don Knotts. Knotts, who won 5 Emmys during the show's 8-year run, wrote and is featured in this sketch, which Andy Griffith called the greatest moment of TV comedy ever recorded. Professor? Let's look at your stuff. This is my stuff.
Here, let me show you. Here, Constitution of the United States. Now, we had to memorize the preamble of that. I still remember it.
You do?
Yeah. Here, I'll show you. Hold the book on me.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Constitution of the United States. Why don't you just give me the first word and then I know the rest.
Okay, we.
We. We?
We.
Are you sure?
I'm looking right at it.
Oh, we. We.
The.
Thee. We thee. We thee.
People.
People. We the people. We the people. We the people. We the people. Of. We the people of
The United.
We the people of the United flag. Breathe. Wind. Wave. Star.
States.
States. We the people of the United States.
In order
In order
to form a
form a
more perfect
perfect to form a more perfect you.
Union.
Union. In order to form a more perfect union.
S.
Ta. Ble.
Shh.
Establish.
Just.
Establish just, Justice. Establish justice.
Ensure domestic tranquility. Provide for the common defense. Promote the general welfare. And secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity to ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. You want to run through that again, or do you think you got it?
I got it.
Good.
You learn something, you learn it.
Thanks, Chuck. I'm going to ask Don Knotts if he can do the 4-way test now. Our next meeting is Valentine's Day, a week from today, and it's February 14th. Our guest speaker will be Bob Latta, and my understanding is he'll be on Zoom, but we will be here. And President-elect Cindy will be presiding. I think Cindy's here somewhere. There she is, in the back. Program committee will be meeting today at 1 p.m. in the boardroom down the hall, and that is in person only. So if there's any Zoomers out there, you better get here fast. With that, thank you so much, Quinton. Thanks for showing up, Dick from Bowling Green, and we are adjourned.